Listening.
Terrible storms turning deadly in the south as tornadoes ripped through parts of Texas and Mississippi, killing at least 2 people and leaving several others hurt. Brandy Campbell is live in Meadville, Mississippi, surrounded by some of the damage. Good morning, Brandy.
Good morning to you. We are here in Meadville, where there was a large tornado debris signature recorded on radar yesterday in the 3 p.m. hour, and now we are seeing the results of that damage. So this is Zion Baptist Church here in the town, a small brick built church here that you can see has just been completely flattened here. What is left standing is pretty much the entrance to this church, and we know we just came out of the holidays. So as we pan over to the right side, something I'm just seeing, small details. You can see they still have Christmas items, decorations that are now spilled onto the outside of this building. I can see the Christmas tree box right there as well. So definitely not what folks were hoping to deal with right after the Christmas holiday here, but nonetheless, we're still going through this severe weather outbreak across the South. Unfortunately, this has become deadly. Let's take a look at some footage, though, that's showing as a funnel was forming here in Meadville yesterday. Again, this happening just in the 3 p.m. hour. Mississippi had 17 tornado reports yesterday, along with wind damage and some injuries or people even trapped in their homes. As I mentioned, this was a deadly storm. At least 2 deaths have been confirmed after Saturday's severe weather outbreak spawned multiple tornadoes and strong wind. 1 person died as a tornado swept through Texas, Brazoria County, south of Houston, and a 2nd death confirmed in Natchez, Mississippi, about 30 minutes away from where we are reporting that, according to their county coroner. Now, right now, the issue people are dealing with is power outages, over 60,000 here in the state of Mississippi, and this event not over. You have North and South Carolina and Florida all seeing tornado warnings at this time. Back to you guys.
Tw 2024 was a wild political campaign year, especially from the mainstream media. But what are the worst lies the media pushed for Democrats? Here to break it down with me is Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe's written a column on this, and Joe, quite honestly, we could fill this entire wall full of media lies from 2024, and even that probably wouldn't do it justice.
We could go to 10 a.m. Eastern time.
We could do the next several hours on this. But let's hit some of the lowlights, if we will. Let's start with this, Joe. This is defending, I believe, Kamala Harris's various flip-flops throughout the year. Here is some of what we were treated to from Kamala Harris.
I think sometimes we're not honest with ourselves about, a couple things. First of all, we change our minds all the time based on information, based on where we're sitting.
I don't think that's a bad argument. I think people have a sense of understanding of those values. But to your point, it sounds like politics, and people have a willingness to accept a level of politics from these folks.
Immigration matters to her. People are saying she's so to the left. She's so progressive. She's very centrist. She's going to have a Republican in her cabinet.
Joe?
Yes. When a Republican flip-flops, it's called a lie. When a Democrat does it, it's called evolving. It's called learning and growing up. Look, these weren't, lies. They were invalid truths, right? Actually, those are the same thing. When Kamala Harris said that she opposed fracking, all offshore drilling, compared ICE to the KKK, thought that, those are in prison who are here illegally should get sex changes. These are all on tape.
Right.
So when they say these things, well, you can't say, well, no, she's changed this time. She was never a centrist, and no one bought it because Donald Trump won the popular vote and won every swing state.
Well, this is one of my favorites in that it was so nakedly obvious how much they were running cover for Democrats and specifically Joe Biden. Joe, these are all the headlines that said Republicans were guilty of cheap fakes, suggesting, as the Washington Post does here, cheap fake Biden videos enrapture the right-wing media, but they deeply mislead, Joe.
5 words sum up this entire year from a media perspective. Don't believe your lying eyes. So when Joe Biden is walking off stage and he's shaking hands with the air, or he doesn't know how to get off stage, or he forgets the name of cabinet members, or he's literally saying that he had a conversation with those who deceased way back when, whether it's the French president, German chancellor, and so on, we were told those actually are not real. When, again, it's on video.
Right.
Fortunately, we have X, and X served as the ultimate fact checker whenever we were told by the media that videos that we saw actually were real.
And, as you mentioned, our lying eyes. We saw the truth.
Precisely.
Despite the fact they continue to try to tell us that Joe Biden was fit for office. That was another one of the big lies this year. Here's how they told us that what we see is not what is real.
Gaffes and mixing up names. I think for people who've been observing Joe Biden for a really long time, that's actually just normal Biden.
He did show a little swagger, and I think that the swagger does kind of combat the age. He's showing, you know, I've got a lot of energy.
An extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
Might be, Joe, one of the biggest deceptions of the last decade, perhaps more.
Oh, I'll say in modern presidential history, right, as far as this cover-up, which wasn't much of a cover-up because we've been talking about it on this network for years. The most unintentionally hilarious part about all of it, however, is when we were told that actually behind the scenes, Joe Biden is this physical and mental, masterclass, right? In other words, he's Lamar Jackson meets Stephen Hawking. He's doing quadratic equations. He's telling you how the flux capacitor works and why 1.21 gigawatts is actually important. All these things when we all, again, heard and saw what we did from this president, especially during that debate in Atlanta when his brain basically turned applesauce.
Remember when he told Donald Trump that he could outdrive him?
Yes.
I'm waiting for that competition, the Biden versus Trump driving contest.
You know what the best part about that was? Trump, is called a fascist and everything and didn't get too upset about that.
Yeah.
But then if you talk about golf and you're going to outdrive him, then he got really angry. He's like, wait a minute. That won't stand.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
All right, man. Good to see you.
All right. Joe's going to stick around, though, because like me and Rachel, he got a new dog this year. So we've got training tips next.